that even though you were out of that tornado warning again,
Tornado
we're seeing
watch.
again the possibility that we could see again some really strong winds out of these particular areas. I'm going to go back to you, Steve.
Don, yeah, Adams Peanuts and Country Store, right on 460. I would say you're kind of in the bullseye. Maybe in the bullseye of this. This is between 606 and 604. That's kind of near the Piney Grove in Southampton County, around the big wooden wildlife. This is a rural area here, kind of from Penn's Corner.
Tornado watch in Portsmouth?
This part of
606 kind of goes this way, and then it connects to
is
604.
Good size area.
It's in the 460,
Chesapeake
and then
is
south on the southern side.
Chesapeake is out where the church is, but Chesapeake is out where Virginia Beach and Norfolk and all sorts of places are, because Chesapeake is just, it's not one, Portsmouth is one, as far as I know, one area that's all together, but, you know, good size at a whole. But Chesapeake, it's scattered all over the place. And what they're talking about now, Southampton, Surrey, and Suffolk, that's not close to us. All this right here is not close to us. It's, I don't know how to tell you where, that's where Robert, Southampton is where Robert used to live.
Oh, okay.
See where it says Southampton up there?
Okay.
And these other places, Surrey is in Virginia.
Virginia.
But it's not right around here. I'm not sure where Sussex is. But a tornado warning is a warning.
Tornado watch is
A watch will be more serious.
serious.
But they're not showing right now. I went to the news because I was trying to see if they'd show what's going on with us.
Here that upstream of this, kind of up towards the Dendron area, could have some of the worst of the weather advancing towards that. It looks done as of now with the scan. This is hard to tell. It's kind of right over top of the radar here.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, and we're going to have a really difficult time finding the exact area of rotation.
For a time.
Yes, but I do want to zoom out because
Bruce.
this thunderstorm itself is growing, and it is kind of lining up here. And we have a new warning that's been issued.
Where?
A big severe thunderstorm warning. So this is not an additional tornado warning, but there's a big additional severe thunderstorm warning stretches over the James River to James City County, York County, Poquoson, Hampton, Newport News, Isle of Wight, Smithfield, Suffolk, the rest of Southampton County, all the way down to even include parts of Portsmouth, northern parts of Suffolk as well. So you got this big thunderstorm coming in, and pretty much anywhere up and down this line of heavy rain here, there could be some significant wind with it or some damaging wind. These are big warnings, and a big severe thunderstorm warning like that.
Okay.
See if the church sends something out.
Warning
If
where the
we're
National
having
Weather
church
Service
or
says,
not,
hey,
yeah.
there's a threat that is large across a geographic area that we're going to put a majority of us under in approaching warnings. So it's not necessarily like individual, so to speak. So it's new warning has the ability, or the thunderstorm has the ability to produce some winds gusting, of course, over 58 miles an hour here. I'm going to get the latest from the National Weather Service on their vocabulary with it and the new, essentially, warning that's kind of just been issued here. So this is going to go until, let's see, this extends. This goes to 4 o'clock. So this is going to take us, not the tornado warning, the severe thunderstorm warning, going to take us all the way to our 4 o'clock newscast. So if you were to extrapolate and use the polygon or the warning as an example of, or to answer, when is this going to hit my house? Because that's what everyone wants to know. When is the storm going to hit my house? When's it going to? You can use the polygon as an example of that. So if the polygon goes until 4 p.m., the tail end of that is probably going to be 4 o'clock. So that this thunderstorm right over the metro of Hampton, hour or so through our morning commutes. So if you got plans to leave between now and 4 o'clock and you can get out early, I would do so, because it ain't raining all that much across most of the metro, the eastern shore, most of the peninsulas. North Carolina isn't raining all of that much here. Don, I have not seen an update from the National Weather Service on the tornado warning.
Let me double check for you here.
Let me double check. I haven't seen them if they're choosing to expire that. I mean, if I was just a poor gambler here, I would say that they are not going to end this warning, because if the area of rotation we were talking about, kind of over top of Wakefield or out of Wakefield, I would think it'd be outside of
It's radar. It's been radar indicated rotation. Haven't seen an update yet on it though.
And here's something interesting too, Don, because we got the
See,
BAM up
Norfolk
here.
went to
So
the right.
the tornado warning
Oh,
up to
yeah.
Wakefield till
I
3:15.
see
A
what
couple
you
more
mean.
minutes on that. I
Good
don't
point.
expect
There.
that to
There
be
where he is
expanded,
now,
but
it's worse
we
than
talked
what
about
we
the
got.
new severe thunderstorm warning
Yeah,
that was
I see what
issued.
you
That
mean.
additional yellow polygon stretching out to Suffolk, Newport News, the James River, pretty much extending this thunderstorm.
The
all
thing
the way
about
to the
this
James
too
River.
is that the odd thing about this is everything's
Yeah.
moving northeastward, but that particular new warning, the area of thunderstorms for that stretches from the Franklin area on northward. That's moving a little bit more eastward.
Sure. And now that I wonder, you're introducing two
Eastward
different
is
types of
coming
directions,
towards us.
northeasterly and easterly, if that promotes the notching, or maybe these, you see kind of looking up in Isle of Wight right now. I'm looking at velocity right now, and there's kind of these like pockets and zones that maybe have some amplified wind, so there may be some rotation in there, what kind of looks like just south of Rushmere, southwest of Rushmere, east
Yeah,
of 460,
right
near Rainer, near Comet,
Yeah,
Dell Crossing Road, kind of in between Rainer and Ellis Fork. Right here kind of looks like there could be a pocket of some really strong wind embedded in the thunderstorm. I'm going to ping this, Don. Let's ping it. Why don't
Yeah.
we ping it? Ping it with some wind gusts, see what's going on. Pop this up, and I'll use just that and see if we got some wind gusts that are rather significant. Yeah, 45 miles an hour, maybe some stuff a little more than that. Yeah, okay, all right. Showing some winds maybe upwards of 40 miles an hour.
Into the
And again,
Franklin area, high population density right there, so reaching more people. One thing about this too is that this is with everything else moving northeast, and this line moving east, we can classify that as a bit of a right mover. In other words, if you want to come back over to the chroma key area, and what you can see out of this is everything is moving northeastward. See, these are moving northeast, but then this one just expands eastward pretty rapidly.
Oh,
So it
and that's
can be
going right.
a bit
Where
of a
Norfolk
right
is,
mover,
if you
so we
can
want
see
to watch
it,
that.
we're
Because when
under
things are moving to the right
Yeah,
of
I
the
see it.
general flow,
So-
that
so
can
they're showing
that's what we
that's
call
what
a
the
right
little-
mover. So everything else moving northeast, this one a bit more east, so it's moving right general flow. So again, that can create some problems there. Steve, you brought.
I think used. They did expire that tornado warning, so in 9 seconds, we'll likely see that warning go to expire. Since that went
Okay,
to
there is, till 3:15,
Yeah.
and we're at 3:14
and
right
I
now.
would think Wakefield on that little
There it
couple
goes.
flashes in between Wakefield and Rushmere right there. I would say that might be the zone that they were kind of focusing on, because a couple being there and maybe have some stronger wind.
Okay, but I'm going to switch over to storm relative velocity here
Yeah, there it
and
is.
have a look at what's going on with all of this. I'm going to go back an hour in time and look at how that progressed on through to the east of the Wakefield area, but it tended to fall apart and kind of splay apart. But Steve was mentioning this area
Okay.
again toward
that
Ponds,
other one.
Rainer, Comet, east of Sycamore Crossroads. These particular areas do look a little bit nasty. We'll want to watch in terms of what goes on for those as we move along down this line of thunderstorms right on into here. And there's another little area toward Carsville that's got a little bit of an indentation in it, a little bit of a hitch to get along there. So again, along this line, we could see some particular problems out of that. Let this update, and again, you can see what's going on with these particular areas. To the west of Windsor, you're going to get Colossi. Franklin, you just got hit by a good solid area of rainfall there. And Unity, you got hit by a good solid area of rainfall. A little bit more moderate now. We move on to the north, and again, you can see toward Dell Crossroads, Comet, which was up into western Isle of Wight County. We're seeing some of this. We're getting on up into, once we get into Dell Crossroads, Surrey High School. And Steve, you talked about this at noon, where kids are going to be on at some of these times as well, as this moves eastward now at about 25 miles an hour. The eastward progression is a little bit trickier to predict in terms of what this thing is going to do. Let's do that, and let's do it at 25 miles and see how we, I'm going to change this. Hang on 1 second.
Go ahead, Don.
There we go. We'll take this at 25 and moving generally to the east and see how we do with time of arrival into some of these areas for kids not out of school. It'll be late enough, I think, for Great Bridge and Lansdowne, and some of these areas. Again, we'll be fine. I'll get out of the way so you can see some of these areas. Again, this will be fine for a lot of these areas, Great Bridge and Lansdowne and Norfolk, Fort, except if kids in extracurricular activities. But Windsor coming up at 325, Smithfield, some of these areas, again, it moves eastward. Steve, you have more?
Do a reset here to widen up the view here. Really focusing on this one thunderstorm zone Don was talking about with the severe warning, again, going to about 4 o'clock. And as I was alluding to, the timing of that, the edge of the polygon kind of puts it right over top Metro, Hampton, York, Poquoson, Newport News, Port Norfolk, Chesapeake, Suffolk, kind of right around that 4 o'clock time frame, maybe a little bit after here. But if we look elsewhere, let's do a little bit, you can be a meteorologist with me, let's do a little bit of analysis. To the north, we have a lot of just general rainfall. Heavy rain, yeah, some strong wind, but the thunderstorm activity that was alive very well to our north earlier today has kind of gotten gobbled up and all washed out. So looks more likely that there'll be some heavy rain, maybe some strong wind for the middle peninsula, northern neck, and the eastern shore as we go throughout the day. Not saying you guys are in the all clear by any means. No, there's going to be some strong stuff headed your way, but I think we can focus our toward more of the across the south side and then really North Carolina, because this stuff looks real ragged all down here. Look, we could connect the dots from the zone Don was just dissecting, or state line. There's a little bit of a break, meaning that there isn't connecting. You get into this zone here and just a plethora of these nasty thunderstorms with a lightning on them. No signs of any significant here. We have a plethora of the warnings, but this zone, of course, going to trek to the east for us across and northeastern North Carolina here. So we're going to have to watch that closely, and that's going to be a little bit later, maybe towards that 6 time frame, maybe closer to 5, 6, 7 o'clock with some of those thunderstorms down this way. You can see them in some parts of southeastern North Carolina here. A lot of lightning in here as well. We're going to see how that kind of gobbles up some of the warmth that's been lingering around eastern and northeastern North Carolina here. Also, Don and I, we talked about this earlier, Don. I mentioned this earlier. Interesting to see the breeze today, the gusting 30 miles an hour easily today.
51 in Norfolk?
51. I saw 52 miles an hour as well around the afternoon. And that's been generally out of this. There has been components of it that have been out of the southeast. And I'm in America. What? Fifth?
Yeah.
The water is very cold. You still need your 4-3 wetsuit with a hood and booty. It's cold in the Chesapeake Bay. We're curious. I chatted with Jeremy about this earlier today. If that or that south cold water, how does that play? It help maybe slow down some of these storms. A lid on them. Question. Waiting to see unfold here. And right now, if I were to look at this this scan here from the radar, this line of thunderstorms is looking a little ragged. Yeah, we have this one zone moving into Isle of Wight.
But even that
now
is looking a little bit more.
And it's kind of looking a little bit more ragged. Some of the rain is spread. So it's going to be interesting to see if that if the breeze today, the wind we had today, where these thunderstorms moved in, maybe put a lid on these. That's a kind of question we're going off right. We're gonna wrap things up here a little bit. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning goes to about 4 p.m. here. It has the capability of producing some damaging wind. This is going to move into Suffolk, Smithfield, and Isle of Wight, Surrey, Sussex, the peninsula. And by the time we go on news at 4 o'clock here with our 4 o'clock newscast, we'll be talking about these thunderstorms moving into the region here. So we'll wrap up. We'll send you guys back to regularly scheduled programming, and we'll cut back in as conditions warrant.
All of America that watched it, but I'm in New York.
I think most of America watched it.
I didn't know how big it was till I was in the show and then publicizing it. I'm not an actor anymore. I just talk about white folks my whole life. And I was walking back from my friend's house.
It's pouring down rain. The windows are wet.
Went, hey, you're the Lotus guy. And I'm like, well, I'm in the show. Your family's my friends. And I go, I knew that.
not real.
You got big coming. I go, yes, no, thanks very much for that. You know, and does he have a stick for his
That
phone?
sheet's-
Or is he not
sheet's probably wet.
dressed poorly 2 o'clock in the morning?
I think it's so weird because we do, as people that love watching things, we get so wrapped up that we're like, wait, that's not real. It's not real.
Sure.
They're a different person.
Trying
you
to
know,
pour
and then
down
we act
rain.
like-
We're
Well,
getting
there's a lot
the
of
rain
warnings on
part of
display,
it.
and it's up to the audience to guess what's real and what isn't. There's a lot of stuff coming up, let me tell you. Don't watch it with your kids.
Got it. I heard that you got really hurt.
Well,